I'm going in a lot faster on approach, and I may zigzag a little. I pushed the nose of the Huey over to gain speed. Alongside me, I could see Captain Lee Billingsley and WO1 Glenn Nowakowski fly past me in their Cobra. "Good luck, Criggs," Nowakowski said over the radio. I went in very fast, much faster than the first two ships, and then pulled the nose back to flare the bird and slow us down as we approached the LZ. We instantly took a large number of hits on our underbelly. As I went to pull collective to slow us down and land, I discovered I couldn't move the controls. Both gunners in the back went hot on their M60 machine guns. The troops were standing by, ready to jump off. Some were on the skids. "Bill, get on the controls. I've lost hydraulics and I can't pull up the collective." Bill, already lightly on the controls, grabbed and we both pulled with all our might until we pulled too hard and bled off rotor RPMs, the very thing that was keeping us airborne. We hit the ground hard and bounced. The shrill sound of the low RPM alarm went off in our earpieces. Ammo, water, and Korean troopers fell everywhere. Bill and I had our hands full trying to control the bird. We were not on the ground and not in a hover, but somewhere in between, and definitely not in control. "Hang in there, Criggs," Cobra Captain Billingsley said over the radio as they pumped minigun and M79 grenades into the hilltop. The smell of cordite was everywhere, and tracers flew every which way. Korean troopers lay prone on the ground, either dead or returning fire. It was a scene from hell. The entire episode lasted less than 20 seconds, and the whole time Carrizales and South stayed on those M60s, laying down suppressive fire on the tree line. It was like a slow-motion movie. The ship kept moving forward uncontrollably and barely staying airborne. The shrill, low RPM alarm continued to go off in our earpieces, but we were still flying. As we passed through the Saddle LZ and came out the other side, we came to a valley that opened up below us about 1,000 feet. Though the controls were stiff, we were able to lower the collective and get some RPM back, gaining airspeed. It was as if God himself had reached down and put that bird and us in a safe position. Finally, the low RPM alarm stopped. The M60s were still going off in short bursts in the back. "Bill, can you take the controls?" I asked. "I have the aircraft," he said. "We need to get to a landing site soon before we experience total hydraulic failure." "I'm shutting off the hydraulic switch," I said, reaching up to start the procedure we had practiced so many times in flight school. "Let's head to Phuket and try a running landing over there," Bill said. "Got it. Let me make the radio call," I said. "Mayday, Mayday, Bulldog 1-2, out of the LZ with heavy bullet damage and no hydraulics. We're heading to Phuket, I repeat, Phuket Air Base, to attempt emergency hydraulics out running landing." "Roger, Bulldog 1-2, any casualties on board?" asked the CNC ship. "Everybody okay on board?" I asked on our internal intercom. "South is okay." "I'm good, sir," said Carrizales. "I think the Koreans that could not get off the ship are okay too. There are 2 of them still on board." "Got it," I said. "This is Bulldog 1-2. We are green with no casualties." "Excellent, Criggs. Safe landing at Phuket," came the reply. I pulled up Phuket Air Base frequency and made a call to advise them of our situation. After we had instructions on where to conduct an emergency landing, I looked at Bill and said, "You want me to do this landing, or do you want to take her in?" "Just keep your hands lightly on the controls in case I need help," he said. "We'll go in at about 40 knots. If we can keep the ship straight, we'll be fine." I tried to keep my hands just lightly on the controls, but they were shaking too much after that event. Shalito performed a textbook running hydraulics out landing that day. It was a miracle we were alive. It was even more of a miracle that none of us were wounded with all those bullets flying. When the rotor blades stopped, we tied off the main blades to the tail boom. Then Carrizales went through the ship, checking for damage. We must have taken a couple 51 caliber bullets along with AK-47 rounds, which seemed to have hit everywhere. Carrizales showed me several rotor control tubes that were shot almost completely through, held together by only the tiniest sliver of metal. Had those tubes separated, the ship would have crashed for sure, as our controls would have been useless. How lucky we were.